Hey, this is a video for Dr. Sean and Dr. Shauna. My name's Tim Archer. I'm your local North County, San Diego computer nerd. And in this video, I'd like to show you how we can generate more patients for your practice through your website. Because that's what the point of having a website's for, right? You want to generate more business and grow your practice with it. So what I'd like to do is just start out with a simple Google search. And when we go to Google, if we search for pediatric dentist Carlsbad, the first thing you'll see is the Google pay-per-click or AdWords. A couple things about AdWords, these first couple results here. If you're not already aware of how they work, basically these companies all bid on having a spot for these terms. And whenever a searcher clicks on one of these ads through to the website, that company is basically paying anywhere between 5, 10, sometimes up to $15 for a single click to their website. And that's not, doesn't matter whether they actually contact the business or not. Sunny Smiles, if I click on this ad right here, is going to pay probably $5 for that click, whether I do anything with it or not. I could just come onto their website, mess around for a little bit and leave, and Sunny Smiles would be paying for it. So while it's an effective quick fix to get some traffic to your site, it's definitely not a great long-term solution to generating more business. So if we focus on the more long-term solutions and we scroll down past the AdWords a little bit, next on the list is the local map pack. Now, the map pack differs based on the location of the searcher. So if I'm in Carlsbad and I search for just the term dentist, I'm going to get a different set of results than if I were in Encinitas and I just threw in the word dentist and hit search. And the reason for that is Google actually knows the location of the searcher and it provides the most relevant local results in the map pack. So just to show you kind of how effective having a spot in the map pack is for a specific term, let's take a look at one of the competitors here. Let's look at the number 3 spot, Discovery Children's Dentistry. If we look at the Google My Business profile for Discovery, you can see that they've actually had a little over 90,000 views or impressions on their profile. And what that means is basically 90,000 times as a result of having that map pack spot, Google has shown Discovery Children's Dentistry to a searcher. So if you run the numbers on that, let's say 90,000 times they've appeared in the map pack, typically it'll result in about a 10% click-through rate. So 10% of 90,000 means they've had 9,000 visitors to their site as a result of having that map spot. And then if you just take a conservative estimate and say 10% of traffic to your site will result in a patient contacting you or a potential patient, that means that as a result of having that map spot, they've had around 90,000 inquiries for an appointment or just calls to the office. So obviously having a map spot is really valuable in your local area. Now the question then becomes, how come Discovery has a map spot and My Business doesn't? There are actually a few factors that go into consideration when Google decides who to give a map spot. One of the first factors is whether your site is mobile friendly or not. Mobile friendly, mobile responsive, I'm sure you've heard some of the news about it lately. There's been a big update on Google. Your site has to be mobile friendly now, or else Google is just going to give you the boot and say, hey, we're not showing your site because no one can use it on a cell phone. But luckily, I already ran the test on your site and you are good to go in that department. Hooray! Mobile friendly, looks great from a phone, so nice job there. But moving on, the next important factor, probably the most important factor in getting a local map spot, is what are called citations. And citations are basically the equivalent of a listing in a phone book for your business, except instead of being in paper on a phone book, it's now it's a local directory listing on the web. Because there are hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of different directory sites throughout the web that you can submit your name, address, phone number, and website to, and every one of those citations or listings counts as a vote for your business in Google. And the more votes you have, the more likely you are to get elected to have a map spot. Just to kind of show you what I mean, I've actually already ran a test on your site that shows me all of the different citations for your business. And as you can see, you've currently got 25 active citations for Carlsbad Shores Family Dentistry. Here's a couple of them. If we go to active citations, it lists all of the citations that you're currently listed in. 25 is not bad, but there's always room for improvement. If we go to potential citations, you can actually see the competitors have an average of, let's see here, we got 109, 95, 96, 83, and 120. So you can see these guys are getting, on average, probably around 80 to 100, 120 more votes than your business is, and for that reason, they're getting elected to the map spots. So if you want to get up there and get a part of that action of those 90,000 views, the first thing I would suggest is definitely doing a citation build out. You got to outdo the competition, and then you'll get some of that search traffic. So I won't lie to you and say you can't do this yourself, because it's completely possible to do citations on your own, but it is going to be at least probably 80 hours of your time, just because it takes hours and hours to do all these manual submissions the first time, especially if you need over 100 done. And then not only that, but each citation has to be manually verified through a phone call or an email system. So it can be very time consuming, and it can also be very expensive to do yourself. So if that's something you want done for you, I'd be glad to take care of that for you. Additionally though, in addition to building out more citations, I would recommend the citations that currently exist to be basically cleaned up. And the reason that is, Google loves consistency across citations. It wants to see the exact same name, address, and phone number for your business. And the more consistent it is, the more likely your votes are to count. Just to kind of show you what I mean, for example, in your Google Plus business page, you've got number 130, 7220 Avienda Encinas as your address. But if you go down and look at your Yelp or your Yahoo local page, they have the street address first, followed by the suite number. Now that might seem like an insignificant difference, but it is a little bit of an inconsistency, and the more inconsistent it is, the less likely Google is to count that vote. So that's my second suggestion, is going through and cleaning up the citations that already exist. Moving back to Google though, so we covered the AdWords, we covered the map pack pretty well. Third and finally, but definitely not least important, is the organic search results right below the map pack. And just to give an overview, like I said, around 40% of searches go to the local results, around 20% come to the paid AdWords, and that leaves the remaining 40% to the organic results. So local map pack and organic results are definitely the best bang for your buck, and are going to give you the best long-term ROI as well. So as far as ranking in the organic results, there's a few factors. The other ones still apply here, but additionally there are two more major factors. And the first one is really actually overlooked by most businesses, and that's just content on your site. And to show you what I mean by content and why it's important, let's talk about goat cheese. If we search for goat cheese, or pretty much any other thing, doesn't matter what it is, Wikipedia is going to be one of the top results almost 100% of the time. If they aren't the number one result, they'll at least be on the first page. And the reason that is, if we search for goat cheese as an example, look at that, number one spot. Why is Wikipedia in the number one spot for goat cheese? They have no relevance to goat cheese in their name. Wikipedia is not a goat cheese website, but if you look at this page that Wikipedia has dedicated to goat cheese, you can see that someone was really dedicated in writing content about goat cheese. And for that reason, when Google scans the internet about information for goat cheese, it finds that Wikipedia is the go-to authority in all things goat cheese. So Wikipedia is the site it decides to show first in the organic results for that search term. And how does this apply to your local business? You basically want to be the goat cheese of dentistry in Carlsbad. So if we go onto your site, on the homepage, you do have some content as far as homepage content that relates to your business, but I highly suggest at least tripling the amount of content on your homepage. Usually a minimum of 500 words is a good start, but by all means don't be afraid to go up to 1,000 and beyond. Some businesses feel like, oh, that's not pretty, I want my website to be visual and look great with lots of pictures. And don't get me wrong, it's great to have a pretty website, but if no one's finding it, it doesn't matter. So I would highly suggest building out, having some content written. That's something you can do yourself if you want. Probably pretty easy to have done for you, or you can outsource to me. I've got some writers that would love to write up some content for you as well. And we can actually keyword research that content, find out what the competition is using in terms of what's driving traffic to their site. But either way, highly recommend some content on your homepage, maybe even add some more service pages as well. But going back to the search results, equally as important, actually probably more important than homepage content, is what are called backlinks. And backlinks are kind of similar to citations in that they count as votes for your business, but instead of being a name, address, phone number listing, this is just text on another website that when someone clicks on that text, they're taken to your website. That's what a backlink is. And backlinks are one of the most powerful ways to rank your site in the organic results. And just to kind of show you what I mean, if we look at sunnysmiles.com, they have the number one organic result. They're getting a ton of search traffic from that. If we look at their site, you can see that this is their sunnysmiles.com. This is just another tool I have. This tells me how many backlinks they have. And referring domains tells me how many separate websites are linking in towards sunnysmiles.com. So 37 is the number to focus on here. So that means they have 37 votes coming from different places in the internet. Google sees that and says, hey, they've got the most votes. We're going to pop them in the top spot. They get elected. And comparatively, if we look at carlsbadshoredentistry.com, not picking on you here, but you've got 2 referring domains currently pointing into the website. So obviously 37 outdoes 2. So for that reason, they've got that number 1 spot. And while you're pretty close behind, I think you're only on page 2 or 3, but yeah, to overtake them in those organic results, backlinks are going to be the most important factor. So it can be pretty difficult to get other websites to link to you, especially if you don't have a big network. And you have to be careful, because if you just go out to any website, if it's basically a spam website, you just pay somebody for a link to your site, and Google figures that out, they'll basically just throw up a red flag. They'll slap your site to say, hey, we're going to push you way down in the search results, and that's not what anybody wants. So I actually do have my own network of highly influential domains, and if you're interested in having a backlink profile built out, that's something I can do for you. We can get that number up into the 30s or 40s so you can outdo the competition and start pulling in new patients. So Dr. Sean and Dr. Shauna, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. I really appreciate your time. I really hope that you can take a thing or two here and really put it to use, and hopefully it's something of value that can help out your business. And if you want any of these things done for you, it's something I'd love to help you out with. Again, I'm local to Encinitas, just down the road a little bit from you. My cell is 440-935-5219, and hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to go brush my teeth and enjoy the beautiful weather. Thanks, guys.